Hello, you just reached MRN Crew Call, presented by Hercules Tires. Your patience while holding is appreciated. Our representatives are working hard to get you closer to the guys on top of the pit boxes, over the wall, and on your radio dial. Thank you for holding. You are now being connected to your hosts, Tony Rizzuti and Kid Cruz.
Welcome to MRN Crew Call, presented by Hercules Tires. I'm Tony Rizzuti. The guy to my left, oh, you guys know him by now. He's Mr. Worldwide with the country vibe. Say hello to Kid Cruz. How you doing, Kid?
Thank you very much. I'm doing well, and I feel so underdressed. I didn't get the memo. You're so fancy. Do you have a job interview or something?
Yeah, pretty much.
This
Yeah.
afternoon?
After this show, I'm going to have to find something else to do.
I got to step it up next week.
There you go. Hey, by the way, you can join the conversation with us. You can tweet us at MRN Radio. Use the hashtag AskMRN. Kid and I, we answer every question. We've done it after every show. A lot of fun. You can also call our fan forum hotline. That number 844-4ASK-MRN. We'd love to hear your comments on that. Kid, we have a great show today. This is a good one.
This is good.
So we're going to make our first crew call just down the street. I think it's about a driver's 7-iron to the crew chief of the number 42 Chevrolet, Target Chevrolet. That's Kyle Larson, second in points right now. We'll talk to Chad Johnston. That ought to be a lot of fun. I told my dad we had Chad Johnston on. He's like, Ocho Cinco? I said, with a T, Johnston. So he'll be on the show. And then we will make a call to our good friend, the godfather of motorsports, Dave Moody, joining us on the show. Ought to be a lot of fun. And then, as always, we'll close it out with the often imitated, never duplicated, except on the Phillips file, game show 5 on 5 off. That'll be a lot of fun today. By the way,
I need to step up my game, by the way. I'm one of my 1-and-1.
You are 1-and-1.
I took a lot of grief because
the
last couple of questions last week wasn't very good.
No, you didn't do very well. By the way, today's category, cheers. Cheers is the category. Okay. So that'll be a lot of fun. So let's see, Kid, if we review, you've hung out with Lady Antebellum, Lady A.
That was fun.
Last week you were hanging with Josh Turner, so who were you rubbing elbows with this week on that?
You know what, Tony, you're always throwing questions at me, right? Can I throw one at you?
I'm like a pitcher, man.
What happened in Phoenix on November 20th, 1975?
It was hot.
Yeah, probably.
Probably, yeah, hot.
Dierks Bentley was born.
No way, he's a Phoenix dude?
Yeah, dude, that's why we got him on the show. Yeah. And he's a huge NASCAR fan. Dierks loves his NASCAR. And so
look at that headshot.
Right?
It's like Ed Sheeran on a like after a bender.
That might be a little old. He may be. He needs a crew cut. That's what's going on, right? So on this week's crew cut, a little from Dierks Bentley, I asked him, since he's such a huge NASCAR fan, who's your favorite driver?
You know, I love a lot of drivers. I've been a big fan of NASCAR for a long time. Been to a lot of races over the years. I went to 13 races one year. That was before I had a record deal. But I guess the guys I relate to with the most are the guys that have the career and the kids. So Kevin Harvick's been a pal for a long time, and always pulling for him. Casey Kane's been a friend throughout the years, and I was a big Mark Martin fan, and I love some of the grizzled veterans. I like my old school country singers, I like my old school NASCAR drivers, and Ward Burton was a fan of his for a long time. And there's a lot of great storylines and a lot of great people in NASCAR.
I love that, the grizzled veterans of NASCAR.
That's right,
I just love that terminology. So Dierks is awesome. So we talk more about Kevin Harvick and the Harvick family. Also a little conversation about his concert tour. What to do and not to do when you meet Dierks Bentley on the road this summer. It's really a lot of fun. We'll have more of that with my interview on NASCAR USA, which will be on this weekend, 100 and some radio stations. You can go to MRN.com.
100 and some? Accurate number on this show.
They're adding by the day.
Was this 5 on 5 off? You just had to get close?
100 and some. It's like 120. So go to MRN.com, use the stations tab, and you can find out where to listen to NASCAR USA and me and Dierks Bentley on 100 and some stations.
A story that nobody else cares about, but I have a friend that was in his very first video.
Seriously?
Brittany Kaysen, who's now a DJ out in Las Vegas. She and I hosted 3 Wide Life. She was in his very first video.
I had no idea.
How about that?
That's cool.
A lot of fun. Also, we're going to have a bonus game today. Kid, I'm going to put you on the spot right here. We're going to do this later, but the bonus game would be, since I say all the time you were Ryan Seacrest before Ryan Seacrest, and somehow he got your job.
What happened
the
to
bonus
me?
game,
okay.
I'm going to give you 3 people. one you would want as a friend, one you would want as a boss, and one you would want to fire. And the three people are Ryan Seacrest, Carson Daly, and Steve Harvey. I'm going to get your answer later, but we're going to take our first break. And when we come back, the crew chief of the number 42 Target Chevrolet, Chad Johnston, next on Crew Call.
O'Reilly.
If you do-it-yourselfers are looking for the right tool for the job, stop by O'Reilly Auto Parts Power Torque Tools DIY Day Sale. You'll find a wide selection of Power Torque tools on sale now and guaranteed for life. Power Torque Tools DIY Day Sale going on now at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better parts, better prices every day. Limit supply. See store for details.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Creekstone Farms is back with an exclusive offer for MRN fans. By using promo code MRN25, you'll receive 25% off your first order at creekstonefarms.com now through March 31st. That's 25% off juicy premium black Angus beef and succulent all-natural Duroc pork. For over 20 years, Creekstone Farms has been fueling restaurants and food lovers across the nation with the highest quality beef and pork products, all raised and grazed in the USA. Just one bite and you'll be a fan for life. Use code MRN25 today at creekstonefarms.com.
You're smart, got your own trucking business, making it happen. What if I told you there was a place online where you could connect with other smart owner-operators just like you? It's an online community called Team Run Smart, where people share advice on truck maintenance, fuel savings, healthy habits on the road, and so much more, all to make your business more profitable. And it's all free. Visit teamrunsmart.com today to check it out. You'll be glad you did. teamrunsmart.com, brought to you by Freightliner Trucks.
Thank you for holding. Now back to MRN Crew Call with Tony and Kid.
Welcome back. He's Kid. I'm Tony. And it's time to make our first crew call of the afternoon. We're going to go just down the street. Target Chip Ganassi Racing and the crew chief of the number 42 Target Chevrolet, driven by Kyle Larson. He is Chad Johnston. Chad, how are you today?
Good. How are you guys doing?
Hey, we're doing fantastic. What a terrific start to the season for the 42 team. Second in points, coming off back-to-back second-place finishes. How pleased are you with how you came out of the gate in 2017?
I think, we're really happy with how we came out this year. Last year we kind of got off to a rough start and wrecked some cars and, kind of dug ourselves a hole to dig out of as the year went on. So it's good to come out strong and lead laps and be up there running with those guys and competing for wins each week.
So, Chad, back-to-back second-place finishes. That's pretty awesome. Most people would be loving that, popping the champagne and celebrating, and certainly you should be celebrating. But I imagine when you're on top of the pit box or maybe in your meeting on Monday, you're like, you know what? We're so close. That's not good enough for us, man. What do you guys, how do you feel about that? What is it going to take to close and get the win? I want to see Kyle Larson. What's wrong with me today? I want to see Kyle Larson in victory lane. I love that guy.
Yeah, so do we. We definitely, we've got some work to do. We've had some good cars, but not quite as good as what they need to be to win the last two races. So, we're just trying to take something newer and something better, and each time we go to the racetrack and make our cars better and better as the year goes on. And obviously, starting up where we're at, it's a lot less of a distance that we got to make up on everybody else. So. We definitely can do it. We're going to keep making them better as the West Coast goes on, and looking forward to going to Phoenix this week and then on to Fontana the following week, and hopefully we can close the deal on one of these two weekends.
Hey, Chad, I think if you were to look at a scouting report of Kyle Larson, it would say he loves to slip and slide, and he loves to be up high. Don't give him the high lane. But something I noticed, while Kyle's still been running up high, seems to be able to find some speed down low as well. Is that something you guys worked on in the offseason?
Yeah, actually really proud of the job he's done this year, and committed to at Atlanta and this past week to run in the bottom, and he got to where we can be competitive running the bottom, but he can also move up, and we all know that he's probably one of the best, if not the best, once the group gets moved up. So we feel like we've made some gains in the car, and that he's made a lot of gains inside the car to be able to learn how to do that and do the things he needs to in there with his hands and his feet to be able to do that. So I think that's a good sign of things to come as the year goes on, and we're really excited about where we've came so far and where we've got to go.
Obviously, we head to Phoenix this weekend. It's going to be very hot out there. I think they're talking about sunny and 95. You guys actually tested out there in the preseason. What are your expectations for the race, and how did the test go for you earlier in the year?
We had a really good test there. The second Phoenix last year, I believe we finished second as well. Then went to Homestead and finished second. So we've got a string of seconds here at these racetracks. So hopefully, we learned a lot at the test. Felt like the test went really well. We were there for 2 days. A lot of good cars there, so we had a pretty good judge of where we were compared to everybody. So we're looking forward to going back there. And I think, like you said, he likes to slip and slide around. He's really good about hunting around and finding grip. So the hotter it gets, probably is better for us. So we're looking forward to going out there, especially as cold as it is here at home. We're kind of looking forward to getting out there to the 90-degree weather. So
like 95 or something every day.
Yeah, but
Crazy
we'll all be complaining about it 2 days.
Right.
In. That's how it always
like
works, right?
It's a dry heat, so it won't be that bad.
Right. Still hot.
Hey, Chad, you guys do this really cool deal over at Ganassi. I've only been there a couple of times, but a few of them was for the Sound Garage. It's like a social media-based initiative, introducing some younger fans and kids, bringing them into NASCAR, letting them tweet about it, take selfies with the drivers. I think we're going into the 4th year. Is this going to happen again? First 2 years was country music focused. Last year was rock. Will it happen again? What do you know about it, and who's going to perform?
Yeah, last year was my first year at Chip Ganassi, so it was the first time that I had anything to do with it. I believe that it's still on schedule for this year. I don't know much of the details. That would be the other side of the building, but it's definitely a great event that we have and that we can host. And like you said, bring some younger fans into it and see what racing's all about, but kind of make it fun for the guys that maybe are music lovers and not necessarily race car lovers. And we're really fortunate to be able to do that and to have all those new, prospects come in as fans.
Hey, Chad, one quick question before we let you go. And again, thanks for your time today. Keith Rodden was on our Motorsports Monday show, and he talked about the stages and basically said, quote, that he's done a bad job of managing the stages, and there's been a lot of teams that have been out there taking advantage. Have you figured out yet how to properly manage the stages, and what do you think about them so far in 2017?
I like them. I think you definitely see a lot harder racing throughout the race, and it gives you kind of a break and a reset. If you aren't decent, it gives you an opportunity to work on your car. I think we're one of the few cars that have gained points in every segment. So I think have we got it figured out? No, for sure. We'd like to have led every one of them, but I think we get the gist of it. And it's good to be able to accumulate those points. Obviously, that's helped us get to the second spot in points with those points that we've got. So there's a lot to. I think every track's going to be different. Obviously, Atlanta, you had to approach differently for the fall off than you did Vegas. Phoenix will be the first short track that we've been to. So I think it's going to be a learning curve for this first half of the year until you go back to some of these places. But we're definitely trying to stay on top of it and try to not leave any stone unturned and try to gain as many points as we can throughout the stages.
Well, it's been a fantastic start to the year for the 42 team. Continued success. Good luck this weekend in Phoenix, and thanks for joining us on Crew Call.
Yeah, anytime. Thanks for having me.
There he is, Chad Johnston. What a start. 12th in the Daytona 500, then back-to-back second-place finishes. We've known Kyle Larson had talent, but he is really showing it this year, kid.
I love it.
The kid is good.
Chalk up another one for the kid. Another win coming. Where's it going to be? Martinsville?
I could see it at California. I could see it this weekend.
Auto Club. Yeah, if not this weekend, Auto Club.
Yeah, and he talked about the stages. Obviously, I think the 1 mile tracks and shorter, I think that could be where you stay out on tires. And if you can break away a little bit, you can steal one of these stage wins. Should be a lot of fun to see this weekend. All right, we got to take a break. When we come back, The Godfather. Are you kidding me? An Italian called The Godfather? We'll find out next here on Crew Call.
If your wiper blades are worn and streaking, stop by O'Reilly Auto Parts and save $8 instantly on a pair of Rain-X Latitude wiper blades. Improve visibility and save money with Rain-X Latitude wiper blades. Plus, take advantage of our free wiper blade installation. O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better parts, better prices every day. Limits apply. See store for details.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Citywide to countryside, whatever you drive, wherever you go.
Hercules Tires has the value, selection, and industry-leading warranty to get you there, no matter where the road takes you. To learn more, visit HerculesTire.com. Hercules Tires, ride on our strength.
Martinsville, the original NASCAR battlefield, celebrates 70 years. Sunday, April 2nd, with the STP 500. New challengers Chase Elliott, Kyle Larson, Ryan Blaney square off against Martinsville Masters. 5-time winner Denny Hamlin, 9 times master Jimmy Johnson, and Earnhardt is back at his favorite track. Martinsville Speedway, Sunday afternoon, April the 2nd. For tickets, call 877-RACE-TICKS.
I'm sorry, Mr. France isn't available right now. Let me connect you to Tony Rizzuti and Kid Cruz.
Welcome back to the old show, Graham. T. Rizzle, Kid Fizzle.
What's that all about?
I don't know. I'm trying to be hip.
It's gotten into you.
Hey, one guy who is hip, and you hear him every day on SiriusXM NASCAR Channel 90, his show SiriusXM Speedway. He is the godfather of motorsports, and he is our own Dave Moody. He joins us on the line. Dave, how are we doing today?
Afternoon, boys. At my age, I'm more like an artificial hip. I haven't been hip for a long, long time.
We're trying here. Hey, man, you've been with the network a long time. You mentioned it right there. You're one of the veterans. How and when did you get your start with the Motor Racing Network?
It's been so long that I don't even remember the exact year. It was mid to late 80s, and they were looking for a little help, 3 or 4 times a year. Back then, there was no truck series. There weren't many standalone races. So basically, the guys that worked for MRN every single week. And they only needed, a couple of fill-in guys in case, somebody got hit by a bus or wanted a day off every now and again. So Ken Squire, who I worked for up in Vermont, I announced at his weekly short tracks up there and traveled around with a regional super late model tour that he was heavily involved with. He gave John McMullen, who was running MRN at that time, my name and said, if you're looking for somebody to work a race here and there, you ought to give this kid a try. And John McMullen brought me down to Daytona one year and gave me an audition, and they probably regretted it ever since because I've never gone away.
And Dave, I don't know about getting hit by a bus, but people have been hit by a motorhome before.
See, that's not necessary. True, but not necessary. That thing about looking both ways before you step off the curb is valid advice.
Yeah. Barney Hull and Jim Phillips one time got hit by a motorhome after a race, I think at Richmond.
Didn't go well for them or the motorhome, but the motorhome did much better.
But the equipment was saved, which at the time was a big deal at the network. Hey, Dave, most fans don't know that prior to taking on SiriusXM Speedway full-time, you owned a nightclub and a bar. What was that business like?
It was the hardest I have ever worked in my life.
Really?
And absolutely. It's not what the business used to be. You used to be able to make a ton of money in the bar business before, society kind of grew a conscience a little bit. Back in the day, nobody looked down upon you if you went out on a Friday night or a Saturday night and had 11 beers and, just stumbled home at the end of it all. Now people go out, they have one drink, and then they drink water for the rest of the night. 1 out of every 3 people is a designated driver. It's a tough road to hoe in terms of making any money anymore. The last year I was in business, I paid $42,000 for liability insurance alone.
Wow.
So, And then, when I got back being busy with MRN again, and you're on the road Friday and Saturday and Sunday, you kind of want to be around if you're in the bar business on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, because if you're not, the money goes home, but it doesn't go home with you.
That's true.
I hadn't heard the bar story before, man. That's really cool, Dave. Okay, so Dave, here's a question. You've interviewed young, old, dead, alive, so many folks, pretty much everyone in NASCAR, and it's always fun to listen to you. You're so good. Is there one moment, one conversation, one question that stands out where you're like, man, I wish I had a do-over. Why the heck did I say something so stupid?
Well, Postman, you could probably speak to this. I've got thousands of those. Probably the worst one ever, and just my luck, I happened to be talking to Tony Stewart at the time, who is the last guy in the world you want to lob up a stupid airhead question to. But we were getting ready to go to Indianapolis for like the 3rd or the 4th Brickyard 400. He hadn't won it yet. And I lobbed him up a question about being from Indiana, having run in the IRL, being an IRL champion, this race is obviously hugely important to you. It's one you really want to win. So, I'll bet you guys are really bringing your best stuff for this race. And there was that 2.5 second silence that you get from Stewart just before he disembowels you on national radio. And then he says, "No, Moody, actually, we're going to take an old piece of junk that we've had out under a tarp in the parking lot for the last 3 years. Of course we're bringing our best stuff, you moron. We bring our best stuff every year." And he was laughing the whole time, and so was I. But there's that moment in time where you know that you've asked a really stupid question to the absolute wrong guy, and that was it.
I did that to Mark Martin once and have never lived it down. Hey, Dave, you feel like playing a game?
Sure, why not?
All right, stay on the line. When we come back, it's 5 on, 5 off. It's next here on MRN Crew Call.
O'Reilly.
If you do-it-yourselfers are looking for the right tool for the job, stop by O'Reilly Auto Parts Power Torque Tools DIY Day Sale. You'll find a wide selection of Power Torque tools on sale now and guaranteed for life. Power Torque Tools DIY Day Sale going on now at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better parts, better prices every day. Limit supply. See store for details.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
So what are your favorite drivers really thinking? We'll tell you each weekday on NASCAR Today, midday.
Getting married has been incredible. I wish I had figured all this out sooner.
Get the latest news from the sport and the opinions of NASCAR's biggest stars.
Changing over to Ford will open up some opportunities and possibilities and some just pure potential for the team.
That's NASCAR Today, midday. Weekdays on the Motor Racing Network.
If you have a question or comment about NASCAR, Motor Racing Network has a direct line for you. It's the Fan Forum Hotline.
I'm a newbie to this sport just this year, and I wanted to know.
I was wondering if when they measure the length of a racetrack.
Call in at 844-4-ASK-MRN. That's 844-4-ASK-MRN.
Wanted to send out a big shout out. Thanks for covering the race.
The Fan Forum Hotline, your connection to NASCAR.
Time now for Motor Racing Network's #1 game show. The game where MRN talent prove their mettle against the unshakable Kid Cruz to see if they've truly earned the right to sit atop the pit box or if they're simply a tool. It's 5 on, 5 off on MRN Crew Call.
All right, fans, before we get started in the game, we got to let you know that Creekstone Farms is back with an exclusive offer for MRN fans. Use promo code MRN25. Look at how good that looks. For 25% off your first order of premium Black Angus beef and all-natural Duroc pork. It's now through March 31st. Order today at creekstonefarms.com. You know, kid, when I'm thinking about pork, I love to grill it, maybe with a little teriyaki glaze.
Smoked, man. Smoked.
Yeah, right?
Hello.
Yeah. Man, I like that teriyaki pork loin. All right, here's how we play the game. I'm going to read 5 useless trivia questions, and Kid and Dave will take their best guess. Again, it's not about being right. It's about being closest. You could say closest to the pin, but we're not going to. So here we go. Dave's on hold. He cannot hear the questions, but today's category, since Dave owned a nightclub and bar, is cheers. Norm!
And he thinks he's playing against the postman, Steve Post.
All right, let's see if everybody knows our name. Let's put 45 seconds on the clock. Robbie Mays and Kid Cruz, your time starts now. As a state, North Dakota drinks the most beer. How many gallons per person do they drink?
12.
Yuengling is America's oldest brewery. How many calories in their original lager?
126.
Craft beers have taken the U.S. beer market by storm. How many in billions of dollars is that industry?
4.2.
The beer mile is a race in which runners chug a 12-ounce beer every 400 meters they run. 4 beers in total for a full mile. What is the world record for the beer mile?
Oh, the world record. Ooh, 7.5 minutes.
And how much is a regular beer and hot dog at an Arizona Diamondbacks game?
$8.
All
oh,
right.
That's way low. What was I thinking? I'm
think
sorry.
That's low?
Yeah.
It might be low. All right, let's bring Dave back in. Dave, 5 on, 5 off. Here's how we play the game. I'm going to ask you questions that you won't know the answer to. They're useless trivia questions. Just get as close as you can get. Whoever gets closest, whether high or low, wins the point. You ready to go?
I'm ready. Let's go.
Today's category, because of your nightclub and bar experience, is cheers.
Oh, boy.
Cheers. All right, Robbie, put 45 seconds on the clock. Dave, your time starts now. As a state, North Dakota drinks the most beer. How many gallons per person do they drink?
11.
Yuengling is America's oldest brewery. How many calories in their original lager?
200.
Craft beers have taken the U.S. beer market by storm. How many in billions of dollars is that industry?
12.
The beer mile is a race in which runners chug a 12-ounce beer every 400 meters they run. 4 beers in total. What is the world record in time for the beer mile?
8 minutes.
How much is a regular beer and hot dog at an Arizona Diamondbacks game?
$14.
There we go. Dave might be Dave
yeah.
understands this business. He might be all over this.
Wow.
This could be a close one, man. That $14.
When you said irrelevant, you really meant it.
Yeah, well, we don't want to put any pressure. We're just having some fun here. All right, let's bring in producer Daryl Smith and see how you guys did. Daryl, the first question, North Dakota are a bunch of drunks. They drink the most beer. By the way, you can send your emails to @KidCruz. How many gallons of beer per person do they drink? Kid said
12.
And Dave said
11.
The actual number was
43.
43.9 gallons of beer per person in North Dakota, eh?
Well, if I lived in North Dakota, I'd get drunk too.
Whew, that's a lot of beer right there, I'm just saying. Second question, Yuengling, America's oldest brewery. How many calories in their lager? Daryl Kidd said
126.
Dave said
200.
The actual total
128.
Kid Cruz.
Yeah.
Very nice. I knew you'd know your beer.
Thank you.
You won our feats of stupidity.
I love my
here.
beer.
That's
Yeah.
right. Third question, craft beers taking the U.S. beer market by storm. How many billions of dollars is that industry? Kid said
4.2.
And Dave said
12.
The actual number?
22.
Hey, Dave, you want to start a Godfather brew? Little IPA?
Sure, why not?
I
I'd
think-
rather finish one.
There, I like that even better.
Yeah.
Beer mile, why anybody would do this, I have no idea, but basically 4 total beers in a mile. You have to chug them. The time, Kid said
7.5.
and Dave said
8.
the actual number
4.34.
4 minutes and 34 seconds. Could you imagine? I
You
couldn't
kidding
run that
me?
That's
sober.
running a mile and drinking 4 beers?
4 beers, you have to chug them every 400 miles. 400 meters.
Apparently, beer is an accelerant. It usually slows Posty and I down.
Yeah, there you go. What's the total right now, Daryl?
We are at Kid with 3 and Dave with 1.
All right, Dave, let's at least get back in the game here. How much is a regular beer and hot dog at a Diamondbacks game since we're headed to Phoenix? Kid said.
$8.
And Dave said.
$14.
Surprisingly enough, it's one of the cheapest in all of Major League Baseball. Daryl, the answer is?
$5.50.
$5.50. Are you kidding me? You can't even get a Dodger dog for that.
Not as cheap as a Martinsville hot dog, but
Nope.
probably not as good either.
I
would never
Martinsville
leave.
hot dogs are pretty darn good.
I'd never leave.
Hey, Dave, who do you have on the old program today on SiriusXM Speedway?
I have no idea. They don't even tell me until this time of day.
I love
That's
it,
the fun part.
But you'll have some fired up fans, and they're passionate, and that's what we love about this sport, right?
Yeah, usually when somebody gets punched in the face, we don't have to worry about topics for the next couple of days. So, yeah, that's the way it's working.
There you go. Hey, buddy, thanks for your time. We'll be listening today.
All right, boys, we'll see you.
There he goes, the Godfather. Daryl, how much time we got here? 90 seconds. So, Kid,
Yeah.
I asked you earlier.
I was supposed to be paying
Since
attention?
you should be Ryan Seacrest, and he should be sitting here, and you should be hosting everything that goes on in the world. He's the new Dick Clark. Who you would want as a friend, a boss, or to fire, and among them, Ryan Seacrest, Carson Daly, and Steve Harvey. They're about the 3 biggest people that have been radio and gone on to TV. If TMZ were to get a hold of this, I'm just saying there might be some controversy. I'm just saying we might get some ratings. I'm just saying.
That's really tough.
If
They're
this
all
got
3 cool.
leaked to TMZ and the Kid Cruz was taking shots at
please.
Seacrest, Daly, or Harvey, we
please.
might have something here. Anyway, I gave you a chance to think about it.
Okay.
Who are we going to have as our friend?
He would be, I think, an awesome boss, but I'm going to say, as a friend, Steve Harvey.
Steve Harvey as a friend.
Yeah.
Very nice. Who would you want as a boss?
Let's go with Ryan Seacrest. The dude is smart,
Dude,
right?
What do you got against Carson Daly? Why are you firing Carson Daly?
Well-
What Carson Daly do to you, bro? Just because he was on MTV. Did he
Okay,
steal
I'm
your
firing
MTV?
Steve Harvey. How about that? What did Steve Harvey do?
What'd Steve Harvey do just because he got something wrong in the Miss Universe pageant? I mean, all right.
Carson Daly.
Anyway, he's Kid. I'm Guido. We'll see you next time on Crew
You've
Call.
been listening to MRN Crew Call, presented by Hercules Tires. Stream us every Wednesday at noon on MRN.com or on the MRN app. MRN Crew Call is also available on demand in the MRN.com Media Center, on our Facebook page, on YouTube, or download it through iTunes or Google Play. MRN Crew Call is a production of the Motor Racing Network. Goodbye.